Hello, we're the Nostalgia Critic critics. We remember Doug, so you don't have to remember Doug. Season 11, we're almost done. Will we finish all 12 seasons and our recap before we have to immediately review season 13? It's looking pretty possible at this point. So Aidan,
pop quiz that shots too.
Yeah, we do. So Aidan, tell me about the top Doug episode this season.
The number one best Doug this season is Starship Troopers. It's an interesting movie. Something in there made us laugh. Don't remember what. And yes, you'll see a theme of mediocrity here.
Alright, next up is Lara Croft Tomb Raider. He keeps mispronouncing Lara Croft as Lara Croft.
He's like Lara.
Lara. He's like Lara.
Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
Croft. Dude, it's Lara Croft. It's not that fucking hard. For Doug being incredibly into everything pop culture, he's pretty bad knowing that, but whatever.
Doug also gets horny for Minecraft.
He does get horny for Minecraft.
Sorry, Lara. I have passed your perky pixelation and have elevated to a higher form of love. Isn't that right, Minecraft woman? Oh, Minecraft woman, you understand my needs!
Number 3 is Fox Kids, which is Doug's longest video to date at an hour. Not to date, but to where we are at an hour. The first 40 minutes where Doug is hosting are okay, where he's kind of just rushing through and giving general thoughts on things. And then that one guy who plays fucking Zack Snyder in all the Doug skits takes over for the last 20 minutes and becomes a fucking boring slog.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's not terrible at presenting, but the whole time Doug's behind him like, what? That show's stupid as hell! Have you seen the Care Bears movie? I like that movie. It's like, Doug, shut the fuck up, dude.
Yeah.
Anyways, grading cartoon intros. Very similar retrospective style, short 2-minute retrospective style of the Fox Kids one, just shorter. He has less to say about each one. It's not as impressive that he grades 1-minute intros as compared to entire TV series incredibly fast, so meh, it's not terrible. It's not as bad as you'd think it was, but it's fine.
Number 5 is Ghostbusters II. This video is too long, it's like 45 minutes, and it really didn't have to be because it's just a regular Doug episode. But he does have a few good points as to why Ghostbusters 2 couldn't live up to the original, so cheers. Cheers for actually making a review.
That is true. Next up is Jack and Jill. It's decent. It had some decent constructive criticism about constructing jokes in the boob fixing scene.
But okay, here's a classic setup. We know exactly where this is gonna go, but they can't possibly screw it up, right? Damn it! Even when you know what's coming, it's done wrong! We know exactly what he's gonna do and that she's obviously gonna hit him, so you gotta deliver it a little differently. Like here's a different edit of the same scene. That works better because it allows us to put the pieces together.
I don't remember the boob fixing scene, but he did actually try to fix Jack and Jill to an extent. It's a terrible movie, but a decent enough retrospective or joke, comedy riff. I don't know, whatever. Moving on.
Number 7 is Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He watched the first 2 episodes of the show. He says the animation is nice, but the characters aren't fleshed out enough. And that's good enough. Good enough for Doug. It's a review.
Next is An American Tale. Fievel Goes West. I barely remember this one already, but it was a fine looking cartoon, and he did an okay little review of it.
Number 9 is Old vs. New Teen Titans.
This is the best old versus new in a long time.
Thank God Fangirl isn't here.
Fangirl wasn't utilized. Neither was Devil Boner very much this season.
Thank fucking
By comparison.
Doug kind of dick sucks Teen Titans Go for the most part, but then in the end, he does that thing he always does where he's like, of course the original's better.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Next is Top 11 Good Adam Sandler Movie. He stretches it a little bit to make 11.
Number Mutant. You don't mess with the Zohan.
Because, you know, he put on some, like,
He had like
don't mess
seven
with
he
the
liked.
Zohan, and he's like, it's funny when Adam Sandler uses his feet to hit the guy. And it's like...
He had like 7, and then he's like, I have to find the 4 most tolerable after that. And he picked
Right,
Don't
that's
Mess
kind of
with
the problem
Zohan.
with the top 11 format. Like, he could have just done top 7 good Adam Sandler movies, but it's his shtick that he does 11, so I guess he had to do it, and he just picked like 4 pretty bad movies on the bottom that Doug basically said are less bad than the average Adam Sandler movie. So whatever, I guess.
Number 11 is the evolution of the Purge movies. It's basically just a mini retrospective about the first 3 Purge movies. He dick sucks them a little too hard, where he's like, the first one is boring trash. But after that, they become just clever political commentaries because they make fun of Donald Trump. And he
It's
Orange
not that
Cheeto
good.
Man. But you know, it's an 11-minute movie, or it's an 11-minute video, and he covers 3 movies, so... Good.
Not bad for Doug. Next is Scooby-Doo, The Mystery Begins. Most of this was boring. This movie looks boring. But Scooby-Doo put on a hoodie and sunglasses at one point, and Doug quipped that it was the Scooby Bomber.
They dress him as the scuba bomber and sneak him onto the bus.
I'm down, boy.
You know, this damn dog has been scary enough already in this film. Do we really want to make him look like a slasher from a low-budget horror film? Actually, screw it. Can we see that film instead?
And even though it wasn't that funny, I still laughed at it because, I don't know, it was actually fairly clever. Good job, Doug. You made me laugh once. Apparently
They
they
had the guy in the mask, the guy in the dinosaur mask, and they take off the dinosaur mask, and it's Malcolm, and then they take that off, and it's
Oh,
Rob,
yeah,
and
they
then
just
they take
take-
that off, and it's
Right.
the dinosaur, and it goes on for like 7 minutes.
Old Man Rob? Let's see who Old Man Rob really is! Old Man Dinosaur! Came full circle, kinda.
Guys, what are we doing?
Yeah, that was pretty cringe. Okay. Next.
Number 13 is Escape from the Commercials. There weren't many very good commercials in this one.
This was a very emblematic commercial special in terms of the season because he just picked really boring commercials. And it was like, well, it's not the worst commercial special. But
Yeah, perhaps the highlight of it is there was some fucking Payday commercial where a guy calls a sex line and then he makes Malcolm into a gay necrophiliac.
Something long and brown.
I'll do my best with that.
I just want to put a great big nut in it.
Again, I will do my best with that.
Depending on how long and brown it is, sometimes 2 big nuts.
I really think there's better hotlines for you.
I don't mind saying that I like a lot of fudge packing.
I don't mind saying that you're really making me regret my job.
And the more coconut I can fit inside, the better.
Okay, well, I'm allergic to coconut, so I'm gonna go bye-bye!
Wait, no, I'm just talking about Almond Joy.
Oh! I'm so sorry. I thought this was all stuff you were into.
Oh no, I'm actually into necrophilia.
I like Malcolm. It's funny because it's Malcolm.
next is Fantastic Four: The Rise of the Silver Surfer. It was a fine review, but Doug kept referring to Galactus as Galacticus for some reason.
Funny as fuck.
Okay, so this will be kind of cool. We're finally gonna see what Galacticus looks like.
He's like, Galacticus in the comics is some kind of planet eater or something. Galacticus. It's like, stop calling him Galacticus, Doug. It's Galactus. It's not that hard. Otherwise, he pretty much just complains. He's like, the Silver Surfer wouldn't sound like Lawrence Fishburne. He would sound like a little twink boy, because he's a
She
little
sad
twink
about her
boy.
wedding.
Yeah, I mean, it's... there's some trash in it, but it's mostly fine.
Number 15 is Mission Impossible 2. The Zack Snyder guy plays Tom Cruise. That part's kind of annoying.
Oh, this is when I jumped out of a plane by myself.
Wow!
Whatever you think of Tom Cruise, you have to admit, his career is doing pretty damn good.
And there's also like a recurring MS Paint bug character who keeps saying Tom Cruise has a small wiener for some reason.
Talk about being between a rock and a hard place. Because Tom Cruise has a very big penis.
Pretty bizarre.
Yeah, that pretty much covers the video.
Next is Van Helsing, and we just said it is what it is. Yeah, pretty much.
Number 17 is Bartok the Magnificent, a direct-to-video sequel of Anastasia. Yep. He talks about it.
The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. He basically just talks about how it's a boring superhero movie and it should have been action-packed like the Avengers, even though Sean Connery at 85 years old was being puppeteered around to fucking dick around as the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Like, the video's fine, but nothing memorable enough to really save it.
Number 19 is Big Fat Liar. Meh. I don't know why Doug reviewed this.
Next is Do the Bartman. This was an 11-minute video talking about a 4-minute early Simpsons music video thing that got popular for a while in the 90s.
He does a scene-by-scene analysis of Do the Bartman. It is a literal zero-effort video.
It was pretty zero effort. He's like, now Bart is dancing, and now Milhouse is dancing, and now Ned is dancing. Look, there's Homer. He's sitting there, and he's dancing now. It's like, okay, Doug, thank you. Cool.
21 is Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, 1999. He talks about that weird OVA. He doesn't even, Doug doesn't know anything about Sonic. He's just like, it's a weird, funny animal movie. Haha, and Japan is weird. Am I right? That's it.
Next is the Powerpuff Girls movie. Doug says, why was the Powerpuff Girls movie even made? I mean, it's pretty pointless and no one ever talks about it. And he's like, I was in college when this movie came out, so I don't care about it. It's like, okay, so why are you reviewing it? Whatever. Next.
Woody Woodpecker. We have a note here that says it's pretty much Yogi Bear again, but shorter. And that won't make sense because we put it slightly above Yogi Bear, but we watched Yogi Bear first. So Connor, what's our next one?
Yogi Bear. Just tons of unfunny jokes, but the Korean frog dog joke, food dog joke was good. He made some joke about a dog being food to Korean people because Doug is racist.
It made me laugh.
It's pretty based.
Hi, Miss Movie Lady.
We're gonna eat the dog too! Korean food tonight!
Alice Through the Looking Glass. He gets very slightly insightful about why it's better than the first Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland. And other than that, it's another overly long Disney movie with nothing going for it that he talks about for too long.
Next is the most hated Nutcracker movie ever. Rachel comes back and directs a Home Alone, but edgy, and it's a commentary on how the Nutcracker was edgy. There's a Nutcracker CGI movie.
Critic, I'm trying to take people into the darkest regions so that the happy scenes seem happier.
And it's really boring. And then apparently Doug hasn't said fuck all year, and he's like, see, you guys still watch my videos even though I didn't say fuck.
Oh yeah? Prove it. Go 1 year on the Nostalgia Critic without relying on the F word.
Alright, I will.
Terrific.
Fine! I already did.
Huh?
I just realized I already did. This whole year, I never said the F word at any of the new Nostalgia Critics, and people kept watching.
And I'm like, bro, this isn't 2009. No one cares if you say fuck or not anymore. It's not the edgy old days.
Yeah.
And then it was a tribute video to Mama Walker because they're like, let's watch our favorite Christmas special.
And Mom, there's a lot of people out there who don't associate Christmas with the best stuff. Maybe they're spending it alone, or maybe they associate it with a bad time. What can you say to people out there who are not having such a good Christmas?
This is the time of year to reach out to someone else who is lonely or is having a hard time and do something nice for them, because when you do that, you will feel less lonely inside of yourself as well. It's a perfect time of year to do something for somebody else and think of others.
That's really nice, Mom. Thanks so much. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Let's watch it again.
And it's a real tearjerker, but then it was just kind of an awkward clip of his mom in the first place.
It was just an awkward place to put it.
Why wouldn't he just do like a dramatic
story
speech
or
about how
something?
he's like, I lost my mom or something, but this show goes on.
It
And
probably
this
just
Christmas
was-
I miss her or something.
It probably was just not the best episode to put it in.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the next one wouldn't have been much better.
I don't know exactly when she died, but
Yeah, it was a little weird. It was a little awkward. I don't know why he didn't just like make a little thing afterwards. I mean, I guess the thought was there, a little awkwardly executed, but hey, whatever. Rachel's return was kind of underwhelming because they didn't really do anything with her, so I don't really get why she was in this video, but whatever.
27 is Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Unlike the first Jurassic World, it's not a reenactment episode, which makes it not hilarious. It's just boring.
I'm so happy Jurassic World 3 isn't coming out this year, so I don't have to watch another Jurassic Park Doug video in like 2 years. But yeah. Next is Horton Hears a Who. Our note is nothing amazing. He reviews Horton Hears a Who. It's not amazing.
29 is Elf Bowling the Movie. This was his big finale for the year. It's a terrible CGI movie that nothing happens in. It's boring.
Next is The Search for Santa Paws. And at least the movie is weird. I laughed one time, but it was because the movie, there was just this really weird part where like the girls are all transformed from like peasants into random girls. So there was some material here, but it's still pretty shit.
A Christmas Story Live. I didn't even know this existed. I didn't know that.
Apparently it's a big thing. He's like, all these networks are showing these live things. It's like, okay.
Yeah. I liked seeing the clips of Matthew Broderick fucking up his lines, I guess.
Replacing all the charm and joy with a possibly drunk Broderick.
I knew that Santa and his reindeer had already left. My old man was one of the most feared furnace fighters in all of northern Indiana. That I was not only perpetually 4 years old. Oh, my eye's okay. If Schwartz and Flick ever saw me, or at least that's what I kept telling myself.
How did they never do another Inspector Gadget with him?
Matthew Broderick killed 2 people in Ireland. And, yeah, it's a pretty boring video.
Yeah, I mean, he picked some funny clips from it. The special looks pretty cringe, but yeah, whatever. Next is Mars Attacks. It was fine, nothing too bad, but it was pretty much boring. He just kind of shows clips from Mars Attacks and talks, and it's boring.
Number 33 is Sleepwalkers. Every year he does a fucking Stephen King movie in the Halloween, in the Nostalgia Ween section.
Oh, yeah.
And most Stephen King movies are boring dog shit.
And then
This one is boring dog shit.
His reviews are boring dog shit as a result.
Yes.
Next is Top 11 Stephen King movies. He talks about the Stephen King movies he likes. Most of them are boring dog shit. This video was boring dog shit.
Number 35 is Doom. Most of it is pretty standard, but there's a really embarrassing part where Doug like puts on a hat that says "No fucks given" on it or something, and it starts playing like generic stock rap music.
Dr. Carmack, it's me, Samantha.
Come on, guys, give him a hand. No regrets.
It's really fucking embarrassing. The rest is
Oh, we forgot that part in more of the commercials where Doug and Malcolm and start walking around pretending to be rappers for the cornflakes commercial.
I don't get it, man. We've been wandering the streets for years and years. Why are we doing this?
I told you. One of these days, a grown-up is gonna need convincing that cornflakes are for kids, and then our amazing rap will save the day.
But why? I just don't get why it's such a big deal.
Don't ever question the cornflakes again.
Next is Alien vs. Predator Requiem. There's nothing funny about it. He just talks about a shitty horror movie from the early 2000s. Where they early 2000s slasherify the Alien and Predator franchises, and it doesn't work. There's nothing funny about it.
37 is the Emoji Movie. It's Doug trend hopping. The movie was popular to hate on. Doug made a video kind of hating on it, but he also said that it was fine at the end because it's Doug and he does that.
Next is The Boss Baby. It's the same thing as the Emoji Movie. He's just trend hopping. Has nothing new to say about it. He just knows people I want to see somebody shit on the Emoji Movie and Boss Baby. It's not very good. He doesn't have anything to say. He kind of just recaps the movie and says, "Now, wasn't that bad?" Well, honestly, it wasn't as bad as people say. It's like, dude, fuck you.
39 is Angry Birds. It's the Boss Baby review again. I don't know what else to say about it. He did 3 of them. They trend up and they suck.
Next. And then there were 2 lights. Now it's gonna be very.
See, wait, no. And now that we're down to the bottom 10, we're gonna go serious mode with this blue color palette.
Okay. Next is Maleficent. Our batteries didn't charge good in our lights. We're still figuring out the 3rd light. I guess it needs its own special charger. We didn't have it. This one's gonna go out next, just so you guys know. But now we have kind of like a whatever. Fuck it. Next is Maleficent. Horribly unmemorable. Basically, he does a bunch of these live-action Disney movies, and they're just really boring. And he does them all in a row. It's just the same thing about every one, and it's like, okay, dude, don't.
Yeah, basically all the live-action Disney reviews boil down to, it has some good stuff I like, but it's not as good as the original. And that's it.
Basically.
Speaking of, number 41 is The Jungle Book 2016. Guess what he says about it?
Next is The Beauty and the Beast. It's so fucking boring. Also really bad. Beauty and the Beast. Also, there's a really bad Beauty and the Beast song cover at the end, which, here you go.
Maybe just a change. Singers that aren't fake, but the suits are scared. No one is prepared. Disney's bland remake.
43 is A Wrinkle in Time, which is just as bad as all the other Disney live-action videos, but in this one, Doug keeps calling a 12-year-old girl hot.
Take a good look at her. She's a better version of you. She doesn't have to just live in your imagination. I can make her real.
Oh my god, she's moderately better looking. Honestly, I kind of think she looks better how she is.
Okay. Well, he doesn't straight up call her hot, but he's like, she's a pretty little girl.
He's like, she's such a handsome little girl, and she looks perfectly fine as is. And then he's like, oh, see, the bad guy wants to make her look sexy.
Are you
so
excited
sexy,
for
but I
Doug to
kind of
trend?
like how she looks nerdy, because it preserves her virginity.
It preserves her authenticity. Are you excited for Doug's trend hopping review of beauties? Next, Chicken Little. The video feels barely finished. Jokes have no payoff. Like this entire video, Doug will make jokes that make absolutely zero fucking sense all the time. But this one was just 20 minutes of jokes that make absolutely no fucking sense.
Number 45 is Rubber. It's boring.
Next is The Spirit. The review itself is abysmally boring. The movie is ugly and hard to look at, but then he also has a crazy Frank Miller the whole time.
I bet my sketch could. I've really gone downhill as an artist. You know, damn it, Tamara, where'd you find him anyway?
Sucking air out of my tires.
And it's like when Frank Miller does crazy shit instead of cool artistic shit, and he keeps talking on the phone with normal Frank Miller, and he's like, oh, I guess we got crazy Frank Miller, and like, crazy Frank Miller is like playing with a samurai sword. And
Crazy Frank Miller acts like a fucking minion, and he like screams banana into the camera and like shits his pants and rolls around in it, and they keep cutting back to it in the middle of the review. It's fucking horrible. Number 47 is Alvin and the Chipmunks Chipwrecked. In the movie, the Chipmunks make a double rainbow joke, and Doug is like, wow, that's dated.
Dancing the hormones away, they come across a beautiful waterfall.
Wow, double rainbow. What does it mean?
It means that joke will really be dated as soon as it's used in a Chipmunk movie.
But like 3 minutes before that joke, he was making a joke about how they sing like Justin Bieber.
What are you doing here? I'm working. Not too many record labels are interested in hiring the guy who blew it with the Chipmunks, blew it with the Chipettes, and passed on Justin Bieber.
To be fair, it is hard to tell the difference between the Chipmunks and Justin Bieber.
in 2018.
Those jokes would have been like the same fucking year, dude.
Pretty much.
Those are both like 2009, 2010 jokes to me.
Also,
this guy.
There's a weird emotional moment where Fangirl and Devil Boner get married.
Our dearly committed have decided to write their own vows.
I want you.
I want you.
Then by the power invested in me, by me, I now pronounce you psycho husband and stalker wife. You may now kill... Well, that works too.
And it's supposed to be like emotional, but also they have jokes where it's like your new name is Fan Boner or something, or like Hyper Boner, and they're talking about how they merged their names and the word boner is funny, and also there's a little bit of con footage full of the same grotesque people that are at every Doug convention.
In fairness, you did, like, I figured how they would do it is like frame it around the convention. The convention's a small aspect, which is a miracle. Because
yeah, there's like 2 shots.
He didn't do any full convention shit where he's cringily running around and yelling like, "Oh, I need to review the movie," and people are like looking at him weird, like this dude's in a fucking Naruto costume looking at Doug like he's a freak. Like, all right, next up, Freakazoid. He basically just does an interview with 2 of the people from Freakazoid. It's the same people he interviewed for Animaniacs. I was going to say Tiny Toons, but I knew that wasn't right. And it was basically just so they could shill their convention about Freakazoid. I don't know how the convention did.
I looked it up. Good. They haven't posted on the Freakacon Facebook page in like a year and a half, so...
Presumably they did it and never wanted to do it again.
Number 49. We wrote a lot about this one. Number 49 is Batman Forever. So there's this guy named the Last Angry Geek who shows up.
Isn't he? He's just the nicest guy. I just want to eat him.
But it won't work! We did an entire riff track on how your style ruined Batman Forever.
You did?
Yes, and it's still available.
For anyone to purchase.
The cameos by Mike Nelson,
Kevin Murphy,
and Bill Corbett.
Good times are just a back click away.
I don't know how to describe him. He's like Sheldon Cooper but obese. And he wears a really cringy shirt where it's the periodic table of elements, but all the elements are na 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 na. And then the last one is Batman.
I think we sold that at Kohl's when I went there.
It's fucking embarrassing. And then Doug is trying to prove why fanboy culture is so bad. And he uses that guy who got on the counter at McDonald's and screamed, "I'm Pickle Rick," who was obviously trolling.
Edward Nigma. Look at us. 2 of a kind!
Huh? At first I thought Carrie's portrayal of Nigma was a little too over the top, but after internet culture and fanboys blew up...
I'm Pickle Rick! What below the dum dum?
You guys are the ones that ruined Sonic for everyone!
Leave her alone! Get my socks! Get my socks! Bring it!
Yeah, it might be too subtle.
Like, the Rick and Morty fan community is fucking terrible, but that's a horrible example because it was, like, obviously making fun of them. And then also Sammy Classic Sonic fan and Leave Britney Alone guy, who are both probably mostly fucking around.
Well, the Leave Britney Alone guy, Chris Cox or whatever the fuck his name is, it's turned out to be a troll. But Sammy Classic Sonic fan was real, but
he kind of played it up from what he said, though.
He's kind of played it up, but I think he was trying to play it up to be an AVGN ripoff and just overdid it.
Yeah.
And then,
yeah,
but Sammy seems pretty chill these days. Anyways.
Fucking,
but yes.
At least Chris Crocker and the Pickle Rick guy are both confirmed trolls, and Doug fell for it hook, line, and sinker. He also has... Doug always does, like, those shitty counters. And he has, like, one where it's, like, faces Jim Carrey makes that look like he's farting, and every few seconds he'll stop and be like, Jim Carrey looks like he farted there. Man. There's a challenge. And then it'll be like a still shot of it and add to the counter, and there's like the fucking bell. They also they have a running joke where they call Robin Batman's dick all the time, which is not funny at all. They're like, look out, Batman's dick is gonna get punched. It's not funny. It's not funny. And also they do like a impersonation of Joel Schumacher, and they make it really homophobic and fucked up. And Joel Schumacher's like, hey bitches, I love sucking cocks and I'm such a queer. And Doug's like, yeah, you are, you fucking nerd, you ruined Batman. It's fucking weird. It's really weird.
Next is Freddy Got Fingered. This review is the funniest review of Doug I've ever seen because Freddy Got Fingered is a hilarious movie, but Doug doesn't get the joke that it's intentionally supposed to be a very terrible movie with retarded edgy humor. That's the point. And Doug doesn't get it, so he'll play like every funny clip and he'll be like, I just don't get it. And I'm laughing my ass off.
It made me laugh and it made me pissed off.
Yeah.
Every time he'd play a clip, I'd laugh my ass off while the clip was on, then he'd come on and say, that's not a joke, that's not funny, I don't get it. And I'd get pissed off, and then he'd play another clip and I'd laugh again. There's a roller coaster of emotions, and he played every good clip. Mostly every good clip. He did miss a few, but...
He missed it. He's a molester. He's a child molester. He missed a few good clips, but
how could
he hit a lot of the funny ones?
The fact that he doesn't like the joke at the start where he almost hits the guy and Hogston. He yells, "Get the fuck out of the way!"
And he's also like they accidentally made the dial in that same scene. He criticized the proud. It's just them saying proud back and forth for like 30 seconds. He's like, they keep saying proud, and the dialogue's so repetitive. It's like, that's the point, dude. That's the joke.
He doesn't get any of the jokes. The fucking, what's the name of the place that Freddy gets sent to? The Center for Molested Children or something? Yeah. And I was laughing. He's like, this is the most sick thing I've ever seen in a movie. I can't believe this was allowed.
Clip of dog being like,
I like Sailor Moon girls, especially since they're underage.
Or whatever the fuck he said.
How can you misunderstand a movie so hard? It's embarrassing.
It was pretty great.
It made me mad. Number 51, obligatory. I actually think Freddy Got Fingered is worse, but we kind of had to put Deadpool 2 as the big finale. Because...
no, Deadpool 2 is more hypocritical. Because he's like, okay, we had the high budget, so we can make a funnier Deadpool than those con Deadpools. And it's it still just makes unfunny jokes. In fact, he makes similar jokes. The one he parodied last season.
Last time he parodied,
you're not any better.
Last time he parodied the annoying con Deadpool, and then the annoying con Deadpool shows up in this one, and Doug dressed as Deadpool kills him.
I'm Deadpool.
Not in a review of my movie.
And then he's like, I'm a funny, handsome, talented Deadpool.
No, I
and
think
he
it was
makes
the
shitty
balding
quips.
guy dressed as Deadpool.
It might be. And he makes shitty quips.
Because you see him like
But then, right after Doug's hypocritical, cool Deadpool comes out, Doug as Rick and Malcolm as Black Morty hop out and start getting in an argument.
Well, not so fast, dumb devil. You're the Lion King. Everybody's Kimba the White Lion.
Hey, where did Quantum Leap come from? Isn't he supposed to be white?
Apparently I wasn't PC enough, so I got a Black Morty from another dimension.
I'm the woke version.
It's like, it literally feels like something you'd see on Reddit where it's like a picture of Rick Sanchez and Deadpool, and it's like an argument with these two would be epic and has like 17 trillion upvotes.
That's more of an iFunny thing, bro. I'm shocked an iFunny watermark didn't cover 3/4 of the screen.
The whole video is like Deadpool make a quip. He's like, I'm really cool and
Rick
badass
Sanchez
and everyone
is
loves
like,
me, chimichangas. And then Rick's like,
Only because you're an underrated ripoff. So many people have done the same thing as you, Deadpool, and you just think you're so good.
And then Nostalgia Critic's like, well, everybody's done stuff Deadpool's done.
But Deadpool's
But
unique
Deadpool
and
does it
original
good.
because, well, he repeatedly
And
calls
then, like,
Deadpool...
Freakazoid comes out. He's like, "Whoa, Freakazoid, my favorite character."
He repeatedly,
What a Freakazoid
he
done?
repeatedly calls Deadpool original, even though it's definitely not, just because it rearranged things that other people have done.
It's
slightly
original because
differently.
it's an MCU movie, but there's like 5 jokes about vaginas and anal sex in it, basically.
Yeah, so Rick and Morty are cringe, Deadpool's cringe, the reenactment as always is cringe. There's one part where Doug couldn't figure out who to make the blob, and so he just uses a PNG of the blob he found on the internet.
You mean
and
the
instead of
Juggernaut?
Cable, yeah, the Juggernaut. Instead of Cable, it's Devil Boner.
We don't have anyone quite as awesome as that, so we went for the next best thing.
I am Cable Boner.
Of course, because
they're similar characters.
They're
They both
similar
use
characters. They both have guns. They both
are edgy and have a bunch of gear. They're not as good as I'd like to admit. That's
There's the
gag.
car chase scene, which Doug says something along the lines of, "I don't have the budget to create the car chase scene." And so his Deadpool character plays with toy cars on the ground for like 4 minutes straight and goes, it's fucking annoying.
It's pretty
No, 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 stop! Don't move it! No, no, no! Oh my god! Oh no, no, look out for the unicorn! Oh no, no!
I know how cringy it is.
This whole video is like an autistic fever dream.
It is.
It's really bad. It's embarrassing.
Can we?
I would definitely recommend watching the Deadpool 2 video because it's funny.
Can we transition into some of the adverts, like the fact that Doug promoted boomer website Stamps.com?
Yeah, that was
That's pretty much all I wanted to say. He
Well,
talked
he
about
also-
the Stardust app for like 3
The
episodes.
first 3 episodes
He's
have
like,
the
"This is
Stardust
my
app."
new favorite thing. I'm actually thinking about quitting YouTube to do the Stardust app." And then finally, like, they quit paying him, so he just never talked about the Stardust app.
Yeah, like the first 3 episodes have the Stardust app shill that he was doing last season, and then suddenly they just stop and never come back. I remember every episode in the last half of the last season, he's like, "Go on Stardust and you can see my reactions early." Now it's just...
And everything else is just like
Or
Dollar
when he was
Shave Club
playing-
with his fucking cat. He's like, "Do you need to shave your cat?" And his cat's like trying to run away, and he's like, "Get over here, Buster!" And he's trying to like shave him.
He was really proud of his cat.
is fucking
What-
NordVPN.
You could tell the second he got his cat, because first he had his cat in one of his ads where he's like, "This is my new cat, Buster." And then in like the next 4 episodes, he'd be like, "What do you think of this movie, Buster?" And then it'd just be a shot of his cat like laying on the couch, and then he'd cut away and go, "Good thoughts, Buster."
Granted, our fucking in the videos where we don't lock the cats upstairs, they come down. You know, I should start doing that, bro. Maybe add some appeal to our videos. You know, what do you think of this, Curtis? And then just cut away and just put the camera in his face, and he's confused. I start hitting him with the strobe light effect on the camera, so he starts getting scared. And then I'll make myself big and start stomping behind him, so he gets really terrified. But anyways, yeah.
So what were your general thoughts on Nostalgia Critic Season 11?
I think I said this about like Season 9, but boring. This is the boring season, you know? This is just a boring season. There isn't even, like, other,
There's
like,
only the one
Deadpool 2
reenactment.
is, like, peak cringe. Batman Forever is bad. And Freddy Got Fingered is just offensive. But it's not, like, I don't know. Like, most of the videos, the best videos up to, like, the last 3 are just so boring that, honestly, most of these could have been interchanged. Most of the time
Pretty
it would
much.
just be like, is this one better than this one or not? And it's like, I guess. Like, it didn't take us a lot of... We literally put very little thought into the placement in this season, honestly. 'cause
Most of this season is just incredibly dull. Deadpool 2 is definitely a career highlight in cringe. Like, it is an incredibly bad video.
He's like, yeah.
And
no,
it's
for sure.
definitely watch the Deadpool 2 video because it's a fucking riot. But, like, 90% of this season felt like zero effort, where it was just like 40 minutes of him talking about Christmas Story Live and The Lion King 2016. It's like, oh my god. But, What video did he mention the wall in?
He mentioned the wall at some point. Dude, it's coming up, bro. How many times does he have to mention it? Anyways, next time in season 12, we're finally at the wall, and then we'll probably do our catch-up and be done with Doug for like a month until we have to go to season 13. So, for all of you guys, you know, it's amazing, bro. It's amazing how far we've come, bro. But
we've come very
our journey's finally coming to an end. Honestly, I just want season 13 finished so we can do season 13 like the second week of January and then have a year off with Doug. Because I'm so, like, yeah. At least he's not movie Bob.
At least he's not movie Bob.